is a combination slide from that.
Here's some rules when you do visit another club. Some good ideas, general rules to follow. Okay, all right. I'm going to read, and but we'll get into this. You know, I'll add commentary as well. Number one, if you plan on visiting another dojo, call ahead and get permission from the coach or sensei before you actually go. Okay, when calling, inquire if there is a drop-in or mat fee, or if there is any restriction on proper attire. For example, some clubs may only allow a white judo gi, while others have different rules. And when calling, be respectful, and don't boast or make any claims that could be construed as arrogant or disrespectful. Even if you think you're the baddest man or woman on the planet, it's best not to mention it. Okay, so there we go on that number one rule. Number two rule, another thing to remember when making that initial call is to inquire if your belt rank is recognized in that dojo. Some judo clubs, jiu-jitsu clubs, whatever it may be, recognize or don't recognize ranks from other organizations. That's their business, okay? It's not for you to argue with them about it. If they if they tell you, no, we don't recognize your rank, then we're a white belt. Fact is, when you do visit out of town at another dojo and plan on visiting another dojo, always take a white belt with you, just in case, So inquire when you make that initial phone call, and also when you inquire, ask how you should refer to the head instructor, sensei, or coach. Are they very formal? Does he want to be called sensei? If that's the case, do so. If you fail to ask that in a phone call, just assume that he will be called sensei. If he does not want to be called sensei, he will tell you that. Okay, so that is just good etiquette to follow, and I would do that. Or if you want to, you can use the formal title, Mr. Jones, Mr. Smith, Mr. Scott, whatever it may be, or Ms. If that's the case. Or if they're a professor, they have a PhD or something, refer to them as professor or doctor, whatever. But be accurate in your titles and be respectful when you use them. When you show up early, never be late, and make it a point to introduce yourself to the head coach or instructor. Make it a point to bow and shake his or her hand when you first meet the instructor. Okay, go to him. Okay, don't expect him to come to you and greet you. You go to him. It's a sign of respect if you do that, and that is something that we need to make sure that our students know when they do visit another dojo or club, to go to the instructor and bow to him and go to him. Don't expect him to come to you and be excited that you're there. Okay, you're a guest, remember. Okay, as far as bowing goes, here's a fourth item I think you should be interested in knowing. As far as the bowing goes, it's always better to bow too much than to bow too little. Okay, I heard an old instructor tell me years ago, whenever you visit another dojo, bow to everything. Okay, well, you may not, he was joking, but the point's well taken. Okay, so be sure to bow on and off the mat. Bow as you walk into the dojo area. Okay, bow before and after each practice round with your partners. And if you have a question to the sensei or coach, as you approach him, bow to him and ask your question. Okay, you say, well, we don't bow in our club. Well, then fine. Then someone who does come and do that, so you don't need to bow. Okay, you can do that. Now, this is a very formal, very Japanese, very Asian approach to doing it, yes. But again, I'm coming from a Judo Jiu-Jitsu background. If I were in a Sambo gym training where they don't bow, I wouldn't need to worry about it. So know the turf, okay? Know the area you are in, and use the proper etiquette for that particular specific location. Okay. Always thank the instructor if he or she gives you instruction on the mat. And be sure to thank every partner you work out with after working out with them. Okay. For example, after each round of randori, bow and thank your partner for a good workout. If you shake his hand before you shake his hand going on to another partner, that's just good etiquette, and it's good respect. Okay. All right. When entering the mat as the guest, it's a good idea to immediately walk up to the instructor and bow and shake his hand. I already mentioned that before. Be sure and this is the point I want to make here, be sure as you do that, thank him for allowing you to train at his dojo. Okay, you're his guest, so thank you. To tell him thank you very much. So that's an important thing to do. If you have to leave it mat at any point, ask permission from the instructor first. Okay, don't just walk off the mat without permission. That is a major breach of etiquette. Do not, especially when the instructor is teaching. If he's doing the drill, sorry for the stuttering, if he's doing the drilling, okay, you've done some drilling and you've stopped, or you've had some randori, you've stopped, and the instructor is now using this period of time in the practice session to coach, to teach, don't leave. Stay there, listen to it, okay? Follow his instructions. You're in his house, do what he says, okay, or she says, okay? Be sure when you show up, clean. And your gi or your workout attire should be clean as well, and odor-free, okay? Always have a clean training uniform, and make sure you wear some type of flip-flops or sandals or zori as footwear off the mat, okay? And bring your own towel, by the way, especially if they got showers. Bring your own towel, and you may need to bring your own soap, okay? So be ready to have all these things with you, and don't expect people to just loan them to you or give them to you or whatever it may be. I cannot stress enough also to wear footwear off the mat. Okay, I know in our club we really like that, and I imagine every club's that way the same. So do that. Or like in Sambo, if you have, you wear your mat, your wrestling shoes, your grappling shoes, your Sambo shoes on the mat as well. Have something to put on them, over them, or take them off as you leave the mat if you have to leave the mat to go out, to go to your car or go to the restroom or whatever, because the bottom of the Sambo shoes are just like the bottom of your feet, okay? We want to keep them clean, okay? So that's something to remember as well. Remember that you're a guest in that dojo, and never correct another student unless he or she is doing something just dangerous or stupid, okay? You're not the coach. The coach is there. That person has responsibility for that mat. You don't. You're a guest, okay? So don't try to take over his authority or her authority, okay? Let the instructor, the sensei, do the coaching. You're a guest, okay? All right. When drilling with a training partner, when doing randori, don't stop and start coaching him or blabbing or yapping on about something. Just keep working out. Keep doing the drill. Keep doing the randori, all right? Basically, keep your mouth closed and work out, all right? That's good etiquette, okay? Again, let the coach do his job or her job, and that's their job to do. That's that person's job to do, not yours. Okay, so remember that. Don't assume the responsibilities of a coach or a sensei when you walk into a club, sight unseen especially. Okay. Remember, you came in for a good workout, so get one. All right. Give as good as you take. If somebody cheap shots you in practice, don't get mad. Just get even. Okay. Don't make a big deal about it. Don't make faces. Don't whine. Just deal with it as you have to. Okay. Some clubs are rougher than others. That's the way it is. Okay. So get used to it. Get serious and get it on, but do it with a smile and be polite about it. Okay. You can give a guy a really good beating and be very friendly about it. Be very cordial, but still give him a good butt kicking. Okay. Or if you get a good butt kicking and it's part of the workout, you accept it, you take it, you do the best you can. If you're overmatched in some cases, that happens to all of us, unless you're the best judo or jiu-jitsu or sambo man on the planet. And even then that happens to those guys too. So if you are taking a butt kicking, take it with respect. But if it does get out of hand and you see that they're getting rough or pushing or abusive, and you have to deal with it, then deal with it. Okay, but do so in a manner that doesn't cause a big problem. All right, just get even. Don't get mad, get even. That's the case. All right, and whatever you do, like I said, don't be a mat bully. As a coach, I've seen guys come in and immediately they were tuned in to the smallest, weakest guy they could find on the mat. Okay, guess what? Those guys got fed a steady diet of some of the best guys I had in the dojo at the time, and they found out why. Okay, they found out why. So we've seen guys like this come in from time to time. I think if you run a gym or a dojo, you've seen that as well. Okay, so if you're a coach and someone is doing that, they walk in and do that, don't tolerate it. Don't allow them to be a mat bully. But if you are that visitor, don't be one. Okay, so don't start a problem. Just be respectful and work out. Work out the entire practice. Okay, you don't pick and choose. You're the guest. Just like when you show up to somebody's house for dinner, you eat what they serve. Okay, same here. Work out the entire practice. Don't stand around looking like you are important with your thumbs in your belt. Okay, and that's a particular peeve of mine. I don't like to see someone walk into my dojo I've never seen before, and they strut around with their thumbs in their belt, acting important. They generally are not very important, and they're just lazy. So don't have that rap on you. Show up, be respectful, work out. Okay, don't just stand around. Um, and, and don't expect someone to come up to you and ask you to randori. Okay, remember, it's generally if a higher ranked judo or jiu-jitsu person or a more experienced sambo grappler comes up and asks you to train, you train with them. Okay, but at the same time, if you walk in and there's no one really picking you to randori, go up and try to find someone, ask them politely if they would like to randori or train or do the drill or whatever it may be, just work out. But go seek them out, okay? And be sure you're respectful, bow to them, and ask them, if they would like to work out in a nice way. Again, everybody, you don't have to kiss anybody's butt when you show up, but good etiquette is essential. It is essential, and I think that will carry you well wherever you go. Be sure you do all the drills, all the games, all the uchikomi, all the break falls that the group is doing. Okay, you're not better than they are. You're there to work out with them on their terms, and work out with them on their terms. Okay, so you're on their turf. Remember that. No one, like I said, no one is too good to pick and choose what he wants to do in practice, except the coach, and the coach decides how the workout goes, and you do what he tells you. Always be humble, but don't be a wimp. I think I mentioned this a little bit before. It's better, as Teddy Roosevelt said, to speak softly and carry a big stick. Okay, give respect and earn respect. If you are skillful, if you are cheerful, if you are cordial, but serious, you will be respected, and you will be asked to come back next time you're in town or next time you're in that part of the city, whatever it may be. Okay, you want to leave a good impression. All right. And first impressions are generally ones that everybody keeps, so make that first impression a good one. And that's really give respect and earn respect. That's kind of an unspoken thing in every dojo. Okay. And when you are sitting on the mat, make sure to sit, on your knees in seiza, or the attention. Okay, or sit with your legs crossed. Never lay on the mat. Never lay on your back, your front. Never lounge. Okay. And don't sit with your legs stretched out. Okay, sit respectfully. Okay, again, if others in the club aren't doing that, that's okay. You do that. Okay, you're a guest. Okay, always pay attention to the sensei, coach, instructor, or higher rank when they demonstrate a move. And I just think I alluded to this earlier. Even if you know it, pay attention. All right, and if you don't know it, if you've never seen it, then you're bonus for you. You get to learn something new when you visited that dojo. So that's a good thing. And in spite of what some people believe, they don't have all the answers. Okay, and I say this because I've been coaching for over 40 years, and I can tell you that on the times we have had, most visitors have come to my dojo have been very respectful and followed all these rules pretty much, but some haven't. Okay, and I'm talking as someone who has been there and done that and had to correct a visitor, or had to, in some cases, reprimand a visitor for his behavior. Okay, so don't put the sensei or the coach you visit, don't put him in that situation. Okay, so always pay attention to him, be polite. Never assume, if you are a high dan grade, that just because you may be a higher rank, or not a high dan grade, but you're a higher rank than the instructor in that dojo, that the instructor will now let you take charge. Okay, don't ever assume that you're going to show up and show a move or show a technique. If the instructor wants you to, that instructor will ask you to show a technique. Okay, but don't just assume that you are there and in charge. It's his dojo. It's not your dojo. Okay. If you are asked to teach a move, don't show off. Honestly, teach the technique. If they're working on, if he says, "Can you show us your version of this, whatever it may be?" Show him your version of that, whatever it may be, and don't show off. Just show the move, answer the questions, teach it as best as you possibly can, and let them let them practice it. Okay, that's only if you're asked, though. Okay, and be sure that you ask if you are visiting a visiting instructor, and the other instructor that you're visiting his dojo, he asks you to show a technique, you do it. Be sure you thank him for allowing you to show a technique, okay, afterward. Okay, that's very important to do. Okay. Now, the last rule, I've had about 14 so far, and the 15th rule is this: never, ever speak badly about anyone else when visiting another dojo, club, or gym. Ours is a small world, okay? And word gets around when you snipe about somebody, okay? And by the way, same goes with the internet or Facebook or what is social media. Don't visit a club and then leave it and then get on the social media and trash talk them. That will really make you a lot of enemies, and that is just plain rude, okay? So don't do that, okay? In the case that someone that's come, don't claim to represent a club or a group that you don't. Okay, there are people that have gone out and said they represent this club or that club, and they've just totally bogus. Hit on 15 key points here when you're visiting another dojo. Etiquette is important, and like I said, we live in a small world. So if you have a good reputation, it follows you. If you have a bad reputation, it follows you. And like my dear friend John Saylor said, no matter where you go, you always take yourself with you. And that's a good piece of advice to remember anytime you visit another club, wherever it may be. So thanks a lot, and keep on training.